Okay, testing, 1, 2, testing, 1. Oh, wait, it's live. For the first time in a while, it's a Friday show. And it'll be the last time that I'm this late on quite a few things. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please?
You know what? Okay, I guess this is the time where I iron out all my difficulties in doing the show, and I provide y'all some updates. And then Dave Eanet joins me at noon Eastern time, and Chris Deese joins me at 12:30 Eastern time. And a lot of things are about to be updated. Take 2. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up? Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! I haven't done this in a while as I take this down, but it thrills me to say good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football late starting Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. We are presented in part by SeatGeek. Hey, fans, listen up. Football's around the corner. Baseball is here. Basketball and hockey are not too far behind. So you want to get out to the places to be, don't you? Of course you do. Go to SeatGeek.com, use the code Snowman Multimedia, and you, my friend, will receive $20 off of your first purchase. That is only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. I am fighting my green screen here, but I'm in the process of making a lot of I'm in the process of making a lot of updates to make it easier for my family, to make it easier for my wife, who I'm very excited about because she starts the pursuit of her doctorate on Monday, and I'm so excited for you, honey. I can't wait until you cross that finish line. I know it's way down the road, but I don't care. I'm excited that she's going to pursue it. She's going to get it. She's going to complete it and all that good stuff. Baby, mwah, I love you. Go get that. Go get it, baby. Just go get it. Now I'm going to bring something back to the show that I haven't done in a while. For some reason, I eschewed it. Not anymore. This is the Whip Around presented by Fanatics. And the Whip Around is presented by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Gerard Mayo, the head coach of the New England Patriots, that is not named Bill Belichick, says the Pats quarterback competition definitely isn't over. Want to bet? So an offer was made to former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick by current Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh, who said, Colin, you have a spot on my coaching staff. And Colin, as I predicted, said no. The U.S. women's national team is back where it belongs, at the #1 spot in the world after their Olympic gold medal in France. A little bit of Major League Baseball history as Weston Wilson becomes the first Phillies rookie, you heard me right, Phillies rookie to hit for the cycle. Fans chanted double, double as a noisy cue for his at bat. Teammate Bryce Harper offered a helpful tip on Thursday night. Harper was at the top of the stairs letting me know, quote, if you hit it, keep running. Don't stop until second, close quote. With the Phillies ahead in a rout against the Washington Nationals, Wilson rocketed a shot to right field that was nearly caught by Alex Call. Call fell short on a diving attempt. The ball smacked off his glove and rolled towards center, giving Wilson the opening he needed to take up Harper on his advice. He slid into second safely with the double to complete the cycle in a 13-3 win for the Philadelphia Phillies over the Washington Nationals. Congratulations, Weston Wilson, on your historic cycle for the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's go through the Friday schedule, shall we? And this is a graphic that I will add each day. We do the whip around. The Blue Jays and Cubs will start off the Friday schedule. They're at 12. They start at 2:20 Eastern, and all times I'm going to state will be Eastern time. The Royals in Cincinnati are at 6:40, along with the Yankees in Detroit and Seattle and Pittsburgh, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Also, 6:40 sees Washington and Philadelphia. 10 minutes after that, Arizona goes to Tampa Bay. 15 minutes after that, at 7:05, Boston takes on Baltimore. 5 minutes after that, at 7:10, Miami is at the Mets. 8:05 sees Minnesota travel to Texas. 8:10 sees the White Sox taking on the Houston Astros in Texas. And I might get a chance to do that one. If anything else, we'll pick it up in progress after I attend an event. 8:10 also sees Cleveland going to Milwaukee. 8:15 sees the Dodgers going to St. Louis. Go Cardinals. 8:40 sees San Diego go to Colorado. And 9:38 to finish off the schedule sees Atlanta taking on the Los Angeles Angels, and Atlanta firmly in front in the wild card after a 3 of 4 big game wins in San Francisco. WNBA is back on schedule. They played a game last night. Tonight's schedule at 7:30, Seattle goes to Atlanta. Phoenix comes to Indianapolis to take on the Fever. And at 9:30, the Connecticut Sun take on the Dallas Wings. And now a schedule update, but first, that closes the whip around presented by Fanatics. And don't forget, you can visit snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics to purchase all of your favorite gear representing your favorite teams and your favorite players. Whew, that felt good. That really felt good. Let me show y'all a few things that I have been up to during our unplanned but necessary hiatus. This next one you'll see later today.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight!
Totally.
This one has a chance!
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Yeah, you're going to see that full-blown fibrillation at 12:30 this afternoon during the second hour of Snowman in the Morning. And plus, this happened. Every Tuesday, you can see that 49ers show as we get you ready as the 2023 defending NFC champions make their way to New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. We hope. They got a lot of questions to solve, but I'll be joined by Andre Fernandez each and every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time on both of our YouTube channels. So make sure you check them both out. And I also unveiled this yesterday. Now, all of that wouldn't be possible if I didn't say it. It would be remiss of me if I didn't say thank you to the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson, for bringing the attention to me about a very, very, very game-changing weapon when it comes to presentation. Also, his advice, the advice from Wise El Jefe, from Sick Diggy, who's here with us this morning, from Victor Locke, Shane Lake, and of course, my beautiful Jody, all the members of the Snowman Multimedia crew, giving me very sound, very timely advice in everything that is going on here, because I'm going to be very, very busy. When I say very busy, I mean just that. But you can catch us, Snowman in the Morning, as season 11 begins September 2nd, live weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, on various outlets, radio and television, as the simulcast season continues. Let's take a break. When we come back, my thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk. Make a decision, will you please? Back in a minute.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE. Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Man, oh man, it just feels so good to be back in the chair. Just feels so good to have a semblance of order, because I've been operating the last couple of months all out of order, and I'll talk about that at a later date. Sick Diggy's back with us from Norway, and he says the whip around is presented by Daddy Joe's Rawhide Belts. The belts for chapping that hide raw. And Lord knows I got it from my dad. It's Daddy Joe's Rawhide Belts. Salute to Gary, Indiana, and for William Otis Snow Jr. Rest in peace, Pop. Salute to Chicago, Illinois. And by Clearwater Laxative. When things get muddy, Clearwater is your buddy. And boy, things were muddy for a long, long time. Thank you all for being patient with me. Thank you all for sticking with me as I navigate through a lot of difficulty. My beautiful wife and family were there to help me navigate through it. I am back in the chair, and I believe there will not be any more interruptions, but I do have a family, and they got to come first. Had a lot to take care of with them. And since that last commercial was for the Eagles Elite Podcast, this is for Cool McCain and Company. And if y'all haven't checked out the Eagles Elite Podcast, I suggest you do. It is fabulous. So that's the Cool McCain and Company, the cool cat who does all that with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Play Callers Sports. Excuse me, that's it. Play Callers Sports Network. The Playmakers sports blog belongs to our one and only brother, Darnell, the Playmaker Solins. So I got to get those two back on the show, but only when they feel comfortable enough to do so and when I am stable enough to do so in terms of time. We will get all that back together. I want to welcome a new member to the crew. Patrick Voss is going to be our NBA and Major League Baseball expert going forward. We came to that deal yesterday. You will see him Tuesdays at the bottom of hour one. And a sincere apology to the folks on that appear on Monday. It's been such a mess with me here, but they will return beginning Monday. And I especially want to apologize to Jay Spivey because there have been a few times I scheduled him, but I couldn't finish it. I couldn't have him on for various reasons, but it's not fair to him. So we're going to get that situated also. Same with Ryan McCarthy, who I believe is due to come back next week here on Snowman in the Morning. So anybody that's involved with the show, please, I continue to beg of you, please bear with me as I get everything together. You have every right to be angry at me, but we're going to get it together. I promise. Hey! Honey, I didn't tell you to push that button yet. Okay, so I just provided a very large hint as to who's coming later on. At the top of the noon hour, yes, you will see the one and only Dave Eanet, who is the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats. Lots of change going on at NU. He will be with me via phone. And I can't wait to talk to him. I'm just so excited to talk to him. Now, I want to say some things that's going to piss off a lot of people, but I don't care. And sorry, I said a bad word. I'm sorry, honey. Jody is also my business manager, and she didn't implore me. She flat out told me, quit swearing on your show. So that's the last one. I love when people challenge me with my sports knowledge. And I'm having a fight with a bronsexual, but I'm not even going to try to talk about that. This is going to be a potluck show, and I'm just going to provide updates here. I had Deb Whitkus scheduled to come on today, and unfortunately, she's not able to make it. So what will happen is that Deb will come on Monday, and we will offer our thoughts on that. I have a feeling Aiyuk will stay, and Raw Dogs, you're definitely right. You're living off that catch against the Lions that went off of a helmet, and now he wants to act like Terrell Owens. He doesn't want to be traded, but he just wants his tail kissed. And the 49ers are not kissing his tail. And that's great because the Niners have all the leverage. Thank you, Raw Dogs, for putting me back in focus. The more he drags it out, let me get this comment up here. The more he drags it out, the more the 49ers are willing to trade him because Jerry's kid is showing starter skills. And I think Brendan Rice is going to wind up with San Francisco. So he's talking his way right out of town, and Brendan Rice is going to be in town. the Niners are loaded at receiver. Even given the injuries to Ricky Pearsall, they have Jawan Jennings. Of course, they got Deebo Samuel, and they're more inclined to sign Deebo Samuel to another long-term extension than Brandon Aiyuk. And Aiyuk, yes, he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, but that one catch against the Lions that put a lot in his head. All right, and a lot of it ain't good. Just play your fifth-year option and negotiate then. Let's see how good you really are if you can produce 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons or 3 consecutive productive seasons like, I don't know, John Taylor. Then we'll talk. I loved the kid when he got drafted. I knew he'd be a weapon, but now he's acting like a diva, and he just needs to quit. I'm so very late in pushing that button, and I'm sorry. He just needs to quit. He just needs to play football because the Niners are offering him $28 a year. But they want him signed to a 5-year deal instead of a 4-year. They want him, or Aiyuk, I should say, wants a 5-year deal, and the Niners only want to give him 4. 3 plus an option year. Take the 3 plus an option. Take the 3 plus an option year. Because if you don't, Brandon, you're going to talk your way right out of town to a team that doesn't have a quarterback like Brock Purdy. Change that to a team that doesn't have a quarterback that ain't Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. And you're going to wind up sucking. Period. And he ain't going to Washington either. You know what's going to what may wind up happening? Here's a scenario for you. Brandon Aiyuk in Pittsburgh. And they won't know how to use him correctly because you got 2 of the suckiest quarterbacks in the NFL in Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. And a lot of people have been telling me that Russell Wilson's going to be the starter, which I kind of figured. Russell Wilson will be the starter. Justin Fields is not going to see the field. Here I go on that tangent again. But let me close this by saying, Brandon Aiyuk, make up your mind. If I were the 49ers, I'd give him 48 hours to make up his mind. And if he doesn't say anything, he's out of there. One catch does not make you a consistent receiver. 1,000-yard seasons? Yeah, that does the trick. And plus, you have the best situation in the world, Brandon, especially given the offense of the 49ers. That's Snowman's take. What is yours? Let's make this a Q&A. Drop your questions in the chat while we take it to the top of the hour, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Football is the name of the game. Ryan McCoffey is with us. He says, remember what Joe Douglas did to Jamal Adams? He traded Adams for 2 first-round picks that became Elijah Vera Tucker and Garrett Wilson. He'll flip Reddick when the time comes with no remorse. Let me back that up with a question. Ryan, who do you think gets Hassan Reddick? And what's going to wind up happening for me, with me and Hassan Reddick, he's going to flip him to a team that has no chance of competing, which will anger him even more. I want to say it another way, but I can't. I only got 3 catches in the Super Bowl, pounce like a girl, but bruh, that's the Chiefs. They got there because of their defense. They weren't soft. You were locked down. Absolutely he was. Ryan, one more time. You also have Arthur blanking Smith running the offense in Pittsburgh. He won't know how to use Aiyuk. Absolutely. Anybody that's a coordinator in Pittsburgh or Carolina or anybody else doesn't know how to use a weapon like Aiyuk. And yes, I called Brandon Aiyuk a weapon. But if he goes to Pittsburgh, he has to suffer with Arthur Smith. And I say, hey, let me pose this question. I think Baltimore is going to get Reddick. I don't think so. Question being, is Baltimore willing to deal for Reddick, and what's it going to cost them? What's it going to cost them? I know where he should go, but I won't say it here. I'll say it later. And let me welcome the Hawk TV to the broadcast. Do y'all think that Jaden Daniels is your rookie of the year this year? I think he is. And I don't think it'll even be close. I do not think it will be close. Power through it. You want him in San Francisco. Well, yeah, I made it obvious. Thing is, we want youth at the linebacker position, especially with the loss of Dre Greenlaw. And I don't think we'll see Greenlaw this year because of the injury he suffered in the Super Bowl, which messed me up, man. It just messed me up. Throw your questions in the chat. We'll continue to do this until the top of the hour when I welcome Dave Eanet. You just want Reddick to kill Rodgers on Monday night. I want the 49ers to kill Rodgers on Monday night, period. I agree with what Mike Greenberg said on Get Up, and I mean this jokingly. Don't send Aaron on the trip. I mean this kiddingly, Mr. McCoffey. Don't send Aaron on the trip. Send Tyrod Taylor in the game as a sacrificial lamb. Let him get beat up. And then you save Aaron for the rest of the year. Until, of course, he meets the Buffalo Bills on 2 occasions. Hawk TV, Caleb may do some good things in the Windy City. No, he will not. I saw Caleb. I saw his highlights. I saw his game against the Buffalo Bills, and I ain't impressed. Let me give you 2 fundamental reasons why. First of all, he looks lost in the pocket. Your improvisational skills are great, but they can only carry you so far. Sooner or later, your fundamentals have got to kick into gear. And with Caleb Williams, he never had the correct fundamentals after he left Oklahoma. He was a diva in Southern California. He's going to be a bigger diva in Chicago unless somebody knocks him upside the head, and I don't mean that literally, and says, look, you need to put in the work to be a great quarterback. He's reading the headlines. I can tell you right now, he's reading the headlines. Speaking of, will you become a Chicago fan if Caleb Williams gets the Bears rolling? Hawk TV, there's only one way I can answer that question. Will I become a Bear fan if Caleb Williams gets rolling? Considering the fact I know he's not going to get rolling, here's your answer.
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
N-O, no. Matter of fact, Bishop, do it again.
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
Not a chance in hell. Me be a fan of the Bears after all the BS I've seen them go through under that or in that organization for many, many years? No. They destroyed the dynasty because Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan didn't know how to get along. Everything behind the scenes with the Bears came out in the open after 1986. Really? No. N-O, no. And besides, it's the Chicago Bears we're talking about. They don't know a good quarterback until it punched him in the face. They don't know a good quarterback if it punched him in the face. I beg your pardon. I mean, hell, you're talking about a franchise whose best quarterback of all time is Jay Cutler. Does that tell you anything? All the Bears do is ruin quarterbacks. Jim McMahon, hello. I hate to say it, but Justin Fields, hello. And I knew they were going to ruin Justin Fields. I knew that up front, but they drafted him. And on top of all that, you, Chicago Bears, have not only mortgaged, but you have now risked your entire future for DJ Moore. Really? You gave him an extension to be a number 2 receiver. You gave him an extension to be a backup. You gave him an extension to be the only weapon that the Bears have because they don't have a running game. And on top of that, the biggest problem I had with the Bears, and I explained this on Villainous News, you ain't got an offensive line. So until you decide to put anything other than 5 300-pound turnstiles in front of your supposed franchise quarterback, and he's not a franchise quarterback, I have nothing to say, but I'm going to have a lot to laugh at. Keep the football thoughts and questions coming. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll finish off the hour with some football talk, and then at the top of hour 2, Dave Eanet, the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, will join me. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to this edition of Snowman in the Morning, the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition. They're in. Let me try to get this situated. I've been having trouble with my green screen all morning. Dave Eanet at the top of the hour. Chris Dietz at the bottom at the top of the hour. Chris Dietz hopefully will join us at the bottom of the next hour to talk all things Big Ten. And I want your football questions and thoughts because it's a football Friday. How about those birds in Atlanta? Hawk TV is at it again. How about those dirty birds in Atlanta? Given the most recent acquisitions, what's your outlook on the Falcons? 3-14. Because they did the same stupid thing that the Bears did. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's what I get for the green tea. Only they didn't do it to a receiver. They did it to the quarterback position. You backed up the Brinks truck, Atlanta. Let me take these off here. You backed up the Brinks truck for Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins. And then 1 month later, and Cole and I talked about this on a recent episode of Snowman in the Morning. Go check that out on our new YouTube channel if you would, please. You backed it up by selecting a quarterback in the first round who may not be your first round pick after a while. Who may not be your best first round pick after a while. Really? So Atlanta screwed up twice. They screwed up twice. They gave Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins $180 million with half of that guaranteed. And they messed around and drafted Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington, who started his career at Indiana, mind you. Really? You call those two smart? Well, the second smart move, you know what the Falcons should have done? Push the plunger and start it over. You got some weapons now. You have Drake London, you have Bijan Robinson, and you got Kyle Pitts. What's the problem with this picture? You got nobody to throw to him. I know Deb's gonna yell at me for saying that, but I'm looking at this from a football standpoint. You got nobody to throw to him. 180 million buccarinis. Until I see different, and I'm old and I'm old school, right down the tubes. Because who's to say that Kirk Cousins will rebound at 36, will rebound from the major injury that he suffered in his last year with the Minnesota Vikings? And on top of that, Atlanta, you're paying $180 million to a quarterback who only has one playoff victory, and that took overtime to get. Let me say that again for those of you in the cheap seats at the old Georgia Dome. The Falcons are paying $180 million over the course of 4 years to a quarterback that only has one playoff win and expect to get him a second one. What? Don't y'all know or care that Brock Purdy has 4 times as many wins as Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, and Brock Purdy has only done it in the last 2 years? When the lights are on, Kirk Cousins comes up short, and I'm sorry, but until I see different, that's how I feel. You wasted a lot of money. You wasted a lot of money, Atlanta. You should have just drafted Michael Penix Jr., let him play on a rookie contract, let him figure out the offense, which is now released from the handcuffing hands of Arthur Smith, and just start it over. If Bijan Robinson ever learned how to hold on to the doggone football on a consistent basis, you'd be fine there too. But it's wasted money in Atlanta. Wasted freaking money. And until I see different, now I know I can totally see myself being wrong on this. And if it happens, I will say as such. I don't have any problem saying as such. But from my eyes, they wasted a ton of money. A ton. I'm waiting to see what Atlanta does with their offense. I'm waiting to see it, which to me ain't going to be much. It is not going to be much in that Atlanta offense unless Kirk Cousins really balls out. But you're talking about trusting an offense to a player 36 years of age off of a major injury, which cost him the rest of last season. Not only that, part one. Part two, you have a rookie in waiting. Now I'm going to say a sentence that's probably going to make a lot of Atlanta fans angry as I make some adjustments here. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I believe you should give the ball to Michael Penix right now. Give the ball to Michael Penix, which is going to be crazy enough of an option, considering the fact you put $180 million in Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins' hands for the next 4 years, and he doesn't even have 4 years left after that injury. He doesn't even have 4 years left. He's got 2 at best. Now, the situation could be that Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins balls out and Michael Penix may be a wasted pick. That could totally happen. Marcus Mariota, hello. But from the way I see it right now, if you want Michael Penix to learn, you should do what the 49ers did with Joe Montana, what the Cowboys did with Troy Aikman, and what the Colts did with Peyton Manning and later Andrew Luck. Give him the ball right now. Give him the keys to the offense right now. Okay? You give Michael Penix Jr., who I think is going to be fabulous, give him the ball right now. If you think that highly of him, if you think that highly of Michael Penix Jr., that you use a first-round draft pick on him, give him the keys. Prove yourselves right or wrong. Give him the keys. Give him the keys. Niners tried it with Trey Lance, and then Brock Purdy balled out, and we said Trey Lance to the Cowboys, and he's going to suffer forever and ever. Amen. And from my eyes, Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins ain't been worth the money since he was a Washington Redskin. Somehow he got 4 years and a ton of money in Minnesota and disappointed Paul Allen. Of course, I'm talking about legendary play-by-play man Paul Allen. And now he's going to do the same with Wes Durham in Atlanta. I believe Wes Durham is the radio voice of the Falcons. Someone fact check that for me, will you please? But really, it is Wes Durham. But really, waste of money. And I'll say it again. This is my opinion. I could totally be wrong. I could totally be wrong. But here's what I see right now so far. Atlanta either wasted a pick with Michael Penix and paid the right man in Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, or the reverse of that. They wasted $180 million on Kirk Cousins and got the right guy in Michael Penix, but it cost them a first-round pick. Now, if you want to make a deal to get rid of Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, you can, because you locked him in for 4 years and you gave him a ton of money up front. Stupid. But wait, there's more. But I'll have to do it at a later time. All right, a break as we head to the top of the hour. And coming up after the break, I will be joined by the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats in Dave Eanet. And boy, I can't wait to get him on to talk Wildcats. More on the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning in a flash.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, This cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
High noon Eastern time. Dave Eanet is on the way, but let me express some more football thoughts here as we head into week 2 of the preseason and the many lingering questions. Now, I am going to hit, and I believe I can stop there because I get a chance to say, please help me welcome the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, a very, very dear friend of mine for my entire career, the one and only Dave Eanet. Dave, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You ready for this season?
Good. I am ready for the season. Let's get it going. Only 2 weeks to go.
Only 2 weeks to go, indeed. Now, it's a little bit different for you this year as they are tearing down Ryan Field and rebuilding it. Big-time project going on there. Very happy to see that. But you had a chance to tour the facility where the Wildcats will be playing their home games. Tell us about that place.
Well, I did. And basically what they've done, they've taken a stadium that was used for their national championship women's lacrosse program and for soccer, and they have extended it, and they have added temporary stands on, but not just like a few seats. They've added thousands of seats to it, but still, it's going to be limited. It's right on the waters of Lake Michigan, literally a stone's throw from the waters of the lake. It'll seat about 12,000. It's going to be a very intimate and unusual setting for Power 4 football, to say the least, because I can't imagine there are too many teams that play in a stadium of that size. But
right.
Great sight lines, and it really should be a nice home field advantage for them.
I think it will be a great home field advantage also. After last year, lots of turbulence coming into last year, but you guys finished on the right side of the postseason with a bowl win. How exciting was that for the Wildcats?
Well, I think considering where they had been with the dismissal of head coach Pat Fitzgerald and then David Braun, who had just joined the program as defensive coordinator and had never been a head coach and had never coached at the Power 4 level, to suddenly be elevated to interim coach with just about a month to get his team ready, and a rough start too on the road at Rutgers. But then they righted the ship, an overtime win over Minnesota. They had a very solid defensive performance against Maryland, and then the wins started to come for them. They won their last 4 games, and to go out to Las Vegas and beat Utah the way they did in a defensive struggle was really impressive showing for them. They won 8 games, and they got a lot of those same guys back. So there's a lot of optimism around the program.
Yeah, there should be a lot of optimism around the program. And there's one thing you just said just a minute ago. They got a lot of guys back. So continuity, and you and I have talked about this so many times when it comes to Northwestern, continuity is very, very important, given everything that happened last year, how the season concluded, where you guys are going to be playing, because that plays a part too, the home field advantage. Sure. But to have some of the same guys back this year that can guide the newcomers into how Northwestern football is, that's huge.
No question. And, you know, really, it's also a question of where those guys are on the field. And if you look at it, now the quarterback's a little different situation because they had a transfer who came in last year, Ben Bryant, who did a great job. He missed 4 games during the season with injury.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Sullivan took over. They went 2-2 in that span, and then Sullivan transferred this spring to the University of Iowa. They brought in a transfer by the name of Mike Wright, who's played at Vanderbilt and Mississippi State, who apparently Northwestern barely lost out on when he was coming out of high school. And they have a holdover out of the Chicago area by the name of Jack Lausch, plus Ryan Halinsky, who seems like he's been here for a long, long time, former transfer from South Carolina. He's also in the mix. So that's a question. But they've got returnees at the skill positions, other skill positions, receivers. A.J. Henning, the playmaker who transferred to Northwestern from Michigan, other local guy. Bryce Kurtz, one of their best wide receivers. They got a crowded tight end room and a crowded running back room where they have a lot of talent. So, yeah, I think they're in good shape there. And then defensively, I think their front seven is very solid. Some questions in the secondary, perhaps, but they have a real standout in their linebacking core in Xander Mueller, who's on the watch list for just about every major defensive award. So, yeah, a lot of returnees and guys who are feeling a lot better going into this season than they did a year ago.
Dave Eanet, the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, joining us here on Snowman in the Morning on this Friday. Let's take a look at the Northwestern schedule. And you want every time this happens every time for Northwestern, as long as I've been covering them and watching them. And I told everybody earlier this week, I became a complete fan of Northwestern during that fabulous 1995 year when they went to the Rose Bowl. It seems like every time Northwestern has a bowl season, they decide to throw a big fat bullseye on their back. And I say this by looking at the schedule. You open with Miami and Duke both at home. Then you get Eastern Illinois at home. And then you got to travel to Husky Stadium in Washington to face an angry Washington Huskies team coming off of a national championship appearance.
Well, it's not easy, but look, in the new era and in the new Big Ten, nobody's got it easy, right? I mean, it's and for that matter, throughout college football. I mean, Miami's playing at Northwestern in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks after that, they play at Notre Dame.
Right.
So, and that game at Washington, that'll be the Huskies' first Big Ten game. Mm-hmm. And I know it's going to be a big game for them, but they'll have a couple games under their belt. And they're getting accustomed to a new coaching staff. I think you have to expect that. And, I think that's fine. Quite frankly, Brian, I was glad Northwestern wasn't ranked. It didn't even get votes in the polls.
Right.
Because I think that puts a different kind of pressure on you. And I'm glad they don't have it. But I will say this. If you look at the tail end of their schedule, you talk about the start, but you look at the tail end in the month of November, they have to go. They get Ohio State at Wrigley Field, which is where they'll play their last two home games. Then they go to Michigan, and then come home and play Illinois. I may not have the date right on that game against Ohio State, but it's Ohio State, Michigan, and then Illinois, with two of those games at Wrigley Field to end the season. And Illinois is a rivalry game for them. So, that's how it's going to be. They got to go play at Iowa. They got to play at Maryland. Those are going to be tough games. Mm-hmm. That's life in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is life in the Big Ten. You go to Kinnick Stadium to see Iowa, just like you said, and then go to Ross-Ade to see Purdue. And then these two, you get Ohio State at Wrigley Field, you go to Michigan Stadium, then you close at Wrigley Field against Illinois. And you just said it a moment ago, Dave, there is not an easy game in the Big Ten this year.
No, there really isn't. And, last year they went into Wisconsin, got a very impressive win over the Badgers up there. And now this year Wisconsin comes in. And the unique part of that is that game is going to be at newly named Northwestern Medicine Field, their temporary home for the next 2 years. So it'll be not like playing Wisconsin at Camp Randall in front of 70,000 screaming fans. There's going to be a 12,000 person crowd or so at Northwestern Medicine Field for that. So, very different feel to it, I think, for the Wildcats.
Very different feel indeed, but a lot of optimism from me and from a lot of other Wildcats fans. And I know they're all listening right now because they were so excited when I announced that I had you scheduled. Dave Eanet, one of my best friends in broadcasting and in life, and the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats. You know I will have an ear to your broadcast each and every week, my friend. Go get them.
Brian, you're the best. Thanks, as always, for having me on.
Dave Eanet, the fabulous voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, joining us here on the Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Everything, man, that just makes every struggle for me personally worth it when Dave says, I'm ready to do it. Let's go. You can see and hear this interview as well as any other interview on our new channel, youtube.com/@snowmaninthemorning. That's where all our interviews and our shorts will be housed from this day forward. Let's talk some more football. Put your thoughts and questions in the chat. And when we come back, we'll talk some more football. And then later on, Chris Dietz will help me break down the Big Ten Conference. We'll be back.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Here, push the wrong button. Welcome back, folks, to Snowman in the Morning on this fabulous, fantastic Football Friday edition. As mentioned, all of our interviews from now on can be seen on our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/@snowmaninthemorning. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And beginning Monday, we will also be back on all of our radio outlets. As I explained earlier, the last couple of months have been a little turbulent for me, with the schedules being silly and crazy and all that stuff, but we're getting back in the groove. And also, if you guys want to help the show, you can do this. Hit us up with a Cash App so we can continue to help the show grow, and yours truly continue to help his family as I slowly get back to work. You can do this. Also, snowmanmultimedia.net/tips, and there are a couple of new websites that I have coming that I'm going to launch on September 2nd. And speaking of September 2nd, season 11 begins on that day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as you see, we got a couple of new partners that we will be working with. All right, well, football and baseball collide, play-by-play with JJ, who did a great call last night of the Phillies and Nationals. He's on tonight. 6:40 is the pitch time. 6:25 is the pregame show. And JJ, you haven't sent me any football questions yet. What's up with that? Sick Diggy joins us from Norway and says, hats off to Kirk Cousins' agent, but somebody in the Falcons organization needs to answer for this ridiculous deal, for this ridiculous set of deals. And somebody in the Chicago Bears organization needs to answer for not drafting Michael Penix Jr. I'm sorry, did I say that aloud? I sure did. Caleb Williams was not the best quarterback in the draft. He simply wasn't. And speaking of quarterbacks, let me send a note of condolence to the Minnesota Vikings, who lost their fabulous rookie, J.J. McCarthy, for the season with an ACL. Our hats and our prayers to J.J. McCarthy in hopes that he heals and heals up very, very well. All right. More and more football talk here. And Ryan, if you're still available in the chat, what are the Jets doing? I may as well concentrate on them for a minute. What are the Jets doing? What are they doing? Do they even have a semblance of an offense? Well, let me take that back. They have a semblance of an offense. They just got the wrong guy running it. Who is that wrong guy? Aaron Rodgers. And I say that because he's going to be 40. He's coming off of a major injury, and his leg is not going to act right. I hate saying it that real, but it's real. His leg is not going to act right. Damn it. And I'm afraid of what's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers this year. I already gave my thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk. I think he's going to stay, but if he doesn't, the Niners can ship him off and bring in Brendan Rice. Who is Brendan Rice, you ask? Only the son of the legendary Jerry Rice, who's got all of his dad's tendencies in terms of work ethic, in terms of how to play the game, and in terms of what he can do to enhance his abilities and enhance his team. Because Jim Harbaugh will not know what to do with Brendan Rice. I said it. And we're going to need the receiving depth because I have a feeling we're going to lose Ricky Pearsall, the rookie out of Florida. And I mean the 49ers. But let me ask you this. And I want to make, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it that way because then it'll turn into a free-for-all and I'll lose time. Let me pose this question. Who is a team that you guys think you should feel sorry for, but you don't? I already told you one. Atlanta. Atlanta's doing something stupid. And we already talked about that situation. We already talked about that. Another team I should feel sorry for, but I don't, is the New York Jets. Why? Because they're the Jets. Do we really know what the heck they're doing? Sometimes, yes. Other times, no. Another team that I should feel sorry for, but I don't, is the Chicago Bears. I do not and will not ever feel sorry for the Chicago Bears. Ever. Because just when you think that they found a way to bring their organization and their city together, they screw it up. They screw it up. Which makes me leery of what they're going to do this year because, and Victor and I talked about this, they pick up DeAndre Swift. Cool. Are they going to use him? Or are they going to misuse him the same way the Philadelphia Eagles did? Are they going to misuse DeAndre Swift? And I'm talking about the Bears. Are they going to misuse him the same way the Philadelphia Eagles did? Because if you go back to the Minnesota game at Philadelphia on a Thursday night where DeAndre Swift ran wild, what's another game where he did that? What is another game where DeAndre Swift ran absolutely freaking crazy? Can't find none? Me neither. Not on a consistent basis. And now the Eagles jettison DeAndre Swift and they bring in oft-injured Saquon Barkley. What? Why are you going to bring in an off-injured running back and depend on him to learn your system, execute it perfectly, when you got a quarterback that thinks he's a running back in Jalen Hurts? And the other thing I am in fear of with Philadelphia is a point that JJ and I talked about. And that is there is no unity in that locker room. There is absolutely no unity in that locker room whatsoever. None. 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 And if there is, I haven't seen it. You let one of your best defensive players go in Hassan Reddick walk to the Jets, and the Jets are going to flip him for some draft picks. And then Hassan Reddick will unfortunately go the way of Eric Armstead on the PUP list. I wish that, I hope that not to happen. But you want to make a player ineffective mentally, flip them for some draft picks and see how they value and see how they value you. Because they don't. Nag nabbit. Another team I should feel sorry for, but I completely don't feel sorry for, the New England Patriots. You had your quarterback of the future in your house in Nathan Rourke, and you let him walk. And now Nathan Rourke is going to revitalize the BC Lions and take them all the way to the Grey Cup game, which they are hosting, mind you. Meanwhile, for the Patriots and for the Giants, Jared Mayo for the Patriots says the quarterback competition is wide open. No, it's not. Don't believe the hype. He's already made his decision. His decision is Jacoby Brissett instead of putting the keys in the hands of Drake May. You want to test a rookie quarterback? Put him in there. Let him learn the system. That's all you got to do. Test him out and let him learn the system. Period. That's all you got to do. And if he doesn't learn the system, well, then you pull him. Do what the Colts did with Peyton Manning and later Andrew Luck. Give the ball to your rookie. Give the ball to your rookie and see what happens, man. Give the ball to your rookie and see what happens. Here's another team that I'm sorry about that, folks. Here's another team that I should feel sorry for, but I completely don't. And I'm going to get pounded for this one. That's the Miami Dolphins. You know why I don't feel sorry for Miami? Because apparently they have all the pieces they need to compete for a division title, as well as the Super Bowl when they don't. And the biggest the biggest problem they have is under center in Tua Tagovailoa. And I don't mean that for anything else for this reason. His concussions. Has he fully recovered from them? We'll find out this year. He played he played every game last year, and that's great. But a concussion can strike the remnants of a concussion can strike you at any moment. I am one who has had a couple of concussions, and they tend to strike me at any moment. I just go back to that scary period of time 2 years ago where he took 3 in 14 weeks. Now, I am happy that he has survived that. I'm absolutely happy that he has survived that. So what do you all think? What's a team in the NFL that you should feel sorry for, but you don't? There are so many more I could react to, but I'm gonna wait. Oh, here you go. You know who I should feel? You know who people tell me I should feel sorry for, but I don't? Give you 2 more: the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys will not make the playoffs. I'm sorry. Did I say something out loud that I shouldn't have? Well, I did. They will not make the playoffs. Because if they were hell-bent on ending this at least NFC Championship game drought, you'd have made some better moves. Hell, you'd have made some moves, period. You'd have made some moves, period. Let's start at the running back position. Who the hell do you have carrying the football for you? Ezekiel Elliott? His time's done. Ezekiel Elliott is finito in the sun. When he walked away 2 years ago, got no kind of tick in New England, and now they bring him back just to see what will happen. I don't care about Tam. In fact, I've erased that video from this library. I don't care. Okay? The Cowboys are going to go 7-10 and miss the playoffs by at least 3 games. Could I be totally wrong with the talent they supposedly have? Yeah, I could. And I'll say as such if it happens. I'll say as such if it happens. Now, the best thing about what I do, if I'm wrong about something, I'm not scared to jump in front of this microphone and say it. I'm not scared to jump in front of this microphone and say it out loud. You know the best part about it? I can always use the words of Dennis Miller. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think I will be. Let's take a break. And when we come back, if all goes well, Chris Dietz will join me to talk all things Big Ten as we put a bow on this edition and put a bow on this week. And we really get back to work on Monday. Back with more. Well, wait a minute. Speaking of which, Monday, September 2nd, season 11 of Snowman in the Morning begins at 11 a.m. Eastern. Now I can say, where to go? There it is. Now I can say, back in a flash.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Yeah. Well, I think I've decided to put a bow on this puppy because I'm running out of energy. I haven't eaten yet, and I know I got to have some energy to get through this. But let me thank you all for hanging with me and being with me this Friday morning. Monday, we will be back at our regularly scheduled time, which is 11 a.m. And we'll take you through the football season. But later on today, you will see Chris Dietz. That's a promise. We're going to set things up for later. I got some housework to do, and I got to make sure I get all that done. And I also have a recital tonight with Cheyenne, my daughter. So I'll be excited to see her do that, and I will be excited to see y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. I am, and I hope y'all are too. Now to get a meal and a nap and some housework done. So long, everybody.